Honing your tone is a very deliberate process. You could be playing for 1 year, you could be playing for 10 years. Unless you really think about this, you won't make any headway on it. I had one guitar for about 6 or 7 years that I played exclusively. It was a Strat, and it had 3 low output-ish silent single coils, a big sticky maple neck, and 21 frets. I made the biggest leap in skill on that guitar, and it's one that I'll have with me just for sentimental value for the rest of my life. While that's all well and good, the guitar isn't as great of a fit for me today, because since then I've gotten better at refining my vision for what I need aesthetically as well as sound-wise, and unfortunately that guitar doesn't fit the bill. Here's a story of one of the most rewarding lessons I've ever had with a student. The student had been coming in for about a year and had obtained some really cool guitars. He had been happy with the tones he was getting, but when he listened to his heroes, he heard that huge difference between what he was getting and what they sounded like. I had him make a list of his favorite guitar players and the songs where he really loved their tone and playing the most. He ended up with something like Stevie Ray Vaughan in the neck, or John Mayer in the neck, so it's going to be a single coil neck, probably a single coil middle pickup, and then he liked Slash for the bridge pickup, so it's going to be a humbucker. There was a couple options that we ended up looking up, but what he ended up going with was a Suhr V63 in the neck and middle and a Suhr Thornbucker in the bridge. I'm not saying all of his tone questions were answered by a simple pickup swap, but I did get to see how he experienced a considerable leap in understanding of how his personal preference related to gear. For instance, after playing that Strat for 6 or 7 years, my next guitar right after that was a dual humbucker and high output modern humbucker guitar. One of the key differences I noticed with the new guitar is that unlike my old one, which basically took the shape of whatever I plugged it into, like if I plugged it into a really nice amp, it would sound great. If I plugged it into a PA, it would sound terrible. This new guitar with modern humbuckers would basically kind of sound like itself no matter what I plugged it into. Seeing how I was in New York at the time and using backline, which could be any amp at any time, that was really helpful. I also found that all my gain tones were much thicker and much more gainy, which was really fantastic just in terms of soloing. I did also find limitations of having a guitar with 2 high output humbuckers. For one, I wasn't really able to get that, second or fourth position stratty or just a thinner rhythm tone. I also wasn't able to finesse the volume control to influence the amount of gain. It was just like gain, 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 off. That kind of led me into the humbucker single Strat world. At this point, I have a humbucker single Strat style, a humbucker single humbucker super Strat style, a humbucker mini humbucker semi-hollow telly-ish thing where I can split the bridge as well, and then a single, and then like a hotter noiseless bridge Strat style guitar. tried many more guitars from that hot output one to the ones I have now, and they've never really clicked. They might have sounded good in certain scenarios, gotten a really good vibe in for this song or that song or whatever, but not one that was really going to encapsulate what I needed. You can see I've sort of found my comfort zones. I've also found my comfort zones amp-wise. If all the guitars I had just mentioned were plugged into like a Roland Cube, maybe it wouldn't really matter so much what they were. What I found worked for me, albeit in a fractal unit and not in person, would be a Vibroverb, a Super Reverb, or a Dr. Z for cleans. For dirt, I either have a Vibroverb that's cranked with an RC booster to thicken it up, or a Dr. Z that's like got crunch and then I put a pedal on that and to make it a lead tone, or a Dirty Shirley with a RC booster to like bring it to awesomeness. These options, combined with the guitars I had just mentioned, basically cover everything I would want to do. This, of course, mostly has to do with players I find inspiring who've influenced me a lot and just noticing trends in my own playing. What are some of your favorite pieces of gear? Ones that represent your musical identity the best, or are you still searching? Let me know in the comments section. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next week.